Belle's got power, Florabella stands tall. Every drip, every drop, watch the haters fall. Channel sharp as thorns, ain't taking no mess. Scroll through her feet, feel that queen's finesse. Vines tangle tight, but Flora breaks free. Roots so deep, can't mess with her tree. From the mud she rises, roses from the dirt. Every comment section she lays down hurt. Flora's anthem, blooming under pressure. Resilient, resolve, ain't no lesser. Florabella's reign strong and relentless. Beauty in battle, queen sure defenseless. From the garden green to the concrete wall, Florabella, unstoppable nature's child. Leaves whisper secrets, she's the loudest shout. From the channel buzzing, she never backs out. Seed of strength, through seasons she grows. In the face of doubt, her spirit glows. Cameras ain't a limit, she branches out. Thorns in her crown, she wears it no doubt. Flora's anthem, blooming under pressure. Resilient, resolve, ain't no lesser. Florabella's reign strong and relentless. Beauty in battle, queen sure defenseless. Flora's anthem, blooming under pressure. Resilient, resolving no lesser. Florabella's reign strong and relentless. Beauty in battle, queen sure defenseless.
Florabella on my screen. Her smile, it shines so bright. She's a queen with every scene. In the morning or the night, recipes and good vibes flow. Every video a gem. Her confidence, it grows and grows. We're inspired like her friends. Unstoppable Flora, she's got that power. Spreading her aura, blossoming like a flower. Through the highs and all the lows, she remains so strong. Her spirit always glows. She's where we all belong. With every like and every share, we feel her energy. No storm too strong, she can't bear. She's setting us all free. Unstoppable Flora, she's got that power. Spreading her aura, blossoming like a flower. Recipes and good vibes flow. Every video a gem. Her confidence, it grows and grows. We're inspired like her friends. Unstoppable Flora, she's got that power. Spreading her aura, blossoming like a flower. Through the highs and all the lows, she remains so strong. Her spirit always glows. She's where we all belong. Every share, we feel her energy. No storm too strong, she can't bear. She's setting us all free. Unstoppable Flora, she's got that power. Spreading her aura, blossoming like a flower. Through the highs and all the lows, she remains so strong. Her spirit always glows. She's where we all belong.
Okay, thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much for your patience and your cooperation. Trying to fix my audio. My regular mic isn't connected, so if you guys can't hear me, just let me know, okay? Just let me know, please. We're struggling today. My PC, it passed away on me. it died for a minute, but it really was just the battery. But I was without EC. Hello, guys. Say hello to my bonnet. Because you know what? This is the nighttime series. And if we're being honest, if me and you, my audience, my people, if we were watching this on the TV about this same story, I would be wearing a bonnet. So that's what I have on my head. Okay. But I just this is what we're going to do here. We're going to have these late night conversations, talk shows that are going to be based in some level of true crime. Oh, relax, Machiavelli. We just got started, okay? It's only 8:30. I'm like an hour late, but I appreciate everybody's patience. But we're going to get right into this, right? I want to talk about some of the hottest topics, right? The hottest stories in the industry that we've heard about in the last year, 2 years. You guys know we've been hearing a lot, right? P. Diddy, Cat Williams was over there snitching on everybody in the best and the worst way. Okay, we had the Kendrick Lamar beef. We're gonna get into just as much of it as we can do today. I did part one because I do feel like once we get to DJ Academics, it's gonna be like 2 or 3 hours in, and I don't want to go that long in the night. It's 8:30, guys. I got a few hours in me, but I know you guys really find these stories to be interesting. Barman Freeman said, "Nice hat." Thank you so much. I paid $5.99 for it, so it's a very expensive French couf. That's really what it is. But yes, so we're gonna go into all of those, and we're gonna start with what we first heard about, and he's our little guy, right? He's our little guy in the picture. Well, he's one of the little guys, but this little guy is somebody. I'm very young, right? I'm a millennial. I was born in '95. I was not privy to all of the social stuff that was going on around the same time as people that I enjoyed to watch and things like that. One of them being Trey Songz, right? We're gonna go through a number of different videos about him and stuff that he was doing in the industry that will probably be telling about my age. It'll probably be like, oh, okay, so you were not in the now. You didn't know what was really going on. And I'll say I'm honest, I didn't. But the first time I was sort of introduced to Trey Songz and like not him as an artist, but like some of the tumultuous history that he had in the industry is when Keke Palmer spoke out about her experience with him at a party and having to lock herself in a closet in order to not be like pressured into some weird stuff. All right. Now, you guys know, like when we think about these artists like a Trey Songz and a Drake in 2015, right? We thought that they were just, like the coolest celebrities ever. Nothing about them trying to force girls into like weird situations. But Keke Palmer spoke out about Trey Songz, so we're gonna hear about that, and then we're gonna just sort of get into Trey Songz's criminal history, for lack of a better term.
You guys, I'm honestly so upset and so livid that Trey Songz put me in his artist's video because I told him I didn't want to be in that goddamn video. Literally, I had so much fun New Year's, my trip to Miami. And then the last day I went to his house because they was having a party. And I've known Trey since I was 12 and kept in touch with him consistently, but I've known him. He's seen me throughout my life. We were signed to the same label under the same production manager when I was a kid. So it's always been love whenever I seen him. I knew he was in Miami. He's doing a party. Cool. I'm going to come through. Me and my friends came through. It was a good time. They start playing a song that I happen to be in. They start saying like they want me to be in it. One person asked me. I say no. Another person asked me. I'm like, no. People keep asking me. Now, mind you, they've been giving food. They've been giving drinks. And I'm just starting to feel like, yo, I'm being like cornered. And I'm not in a professional situation. Like I came here for a party, but I'm being pressured to do business and I'm not in the right mind. I'm under the influence and I don't feel like it's fair that I'm having to deal with this right now. Really, I keep getting asked and asked and asked and asked and pressured and put in a situation like how you would feel as a young girl.
And Keke is very well spoken. I think at the time she was probably in her early 20s. So this was 8 years ago, 2017. That's a long time for, fossils like myself. But she's very well spoken, early 20s. And she's saying, hey, I've known this person since I was like a teenager in the industry. All right, I didn't really expect him to be somebody who would engage in business like that, because in every other time we had a regular relationship. And that's fair, right? She's never had an issue with Trey. He's never put her in any weird situations before. They were under the same record label. But then poof, he's at a party. They want her to be involved in some stuff, and they're pushing alcohol, drugs. This is the number one red flag, right? And I know I'm not in the industry, right? You don't know nothing about Hollywood. You ain't never been in Hollywood. You ain't never going to be in Hollywood. I don't know anything. But one thing I'm going to say is, if you are supposed to be conducting business and people are trying to pressure you to blur those lines with personal endeavor or personal anything, right? Because being completely under the influence where you don't know what you're up to, you're drinking, smoke, all that, like, that's not in any way, shape, or form professional. So if you're doing business and somebody tries to put you in that situation, that should be like a red flag. Now I know people feel like with certain industries you have to do some level of networking, but you should not be being forced. No substances or anything should be being forced on you, period. That's not something anybody could legally get away with. You know what I'm saying? Like, even if they expect you to do some level of like fraternizing on the job or some level of networking outside of like work hours, it's still not going to be expected of you to be drinking, smoking, whatever. And what she's insinuating is that we're pushing substances and things like that on her to sort of blur her perspective in terms of like doing business. Because for her, doing music and getting on a song is business. And you can tell she was all business. That's why I said she's very wise beyond her years. I don't think she realizes that when she speaks. But let's hear a little bit more about what she's going to say about this interaction.
I feel like because I didn't go to high school and college, it was like my first experience of a dude being like, come on. Like, just do this, just do that, just do that. Like, that's the kind of feeling. Literally, I got so overwhelmed with what to do, didn't know what to do, because my Uber wasn't going to get there quick enough time. So I was like, what do I do in this meantime? I know the shit sounds comical as fuck, but y'all, I hid in the goddamn closet. I hid in the goddamn closet because I was so afraid. Like, I didn't know what to do. I really, really don't like conflict. And I didn't want to, like, it was just too much. I started to feel overwhelmed. It was like a lot of people constantly saying something. Mind you, my homegirl was so drunk that when they came in, Trey and his assistant, whatever, like they came in trying to find my ass, my homegirl pointed to the closet, saying something. She in the bathroom. They're like, she's not in the bathroom. The bathroom door is open. Like, and she kept pointing to the closet, because the closet, y'all, the fact that I fit in there was nuts. Literally, he starts laughing once he opens up the closet and sees I'm in there and sees how nervous I was. He was like, you don't have to be in the video. He was like, damn. He's like, yo, Kiki, if you don't want to be in a pop-up video shoot and you want to say that, that's fine. And it's all good. Like, it's good, sis. Flash forward. I'm in the fucking video. How am I in the video? Then I'm thinking back, oh, I'm in the video because when I was getting pressured, they had set me down. He had set me down on the couch like, this is the idea I have, But I had no idea that they was filming. He's sitting here telling me that's what he's showing me, that they might. And I'm just like, I would never want to say nothing like this public. And I never would want to be like, yo, blah, 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 blah. But honestly, I would be doing a disservice, not only to myself, but to the people that support and follow me, if I didn't be like, yo, call this shit out, because this shit just not cool. Especially because I'm not the only person this type of stuff happens to. Maybe it's not happening to you with Trey Songz or whoever, but it's happening with you in some situation, And I don't wish to call somebody out, but like, yo, that's not cool. And like, for me to look and see the video and to feel that disrespect, like, then you're wrong. You're wrong for saying something. You're wrong for calling something out. Like, no, my thing is just respect me and we're all good. When I say no, let that be that and let's move forward. I just don't appreciate the second.
And that's, I mean, she's being very cool about it, but if you put me in some shit that I told you I wasn't comfortable, you didn't get my permission, it's all smoke. Like, I'm taking you to court. We're not having a friendly discussion about it. I'm going to say that there was no legal contract for me to be in this production. But, they play around with people, calling each other friends and being like, oh, we cool, we peoples. No, we not peoples. We not peoples when it comes to business. You play around with me when it comes to business, you're playing around with me, period. That's what it feels like to me. So I wouldn't, but she's being very nice. I think maybe because of her age, she probably didn't want to rock the boat too much, but she wanted to be honest about what happened to her. And honestly, I feel like her honesty in this situation, it was attacked. It was weaponized. It was like, oh, what he gotta be trying to pressure Kiki for? Who is she? Who is she? She was enough for him to do all of that. Right? She was enough for him to cross her boundaries and do things outside of what she was comfortable with professionally. And just it really seems like she let it go, because if there was a litigation issue in terms of like, oh, he reproduced some video of me without my permission, that would have been legally out there. It seems like she just let it go. Yeah, they're disrespecting her brand, because her brand is not to be some, woman who gets online and, puts whatever videos out and will be airing on her business. Because what she said is she was talking business with him, and that's not stuff she would say publicly. Like, that's not anybody's business but her own. I feel like that's putting somebody out there in a way they don't want to be. It's very disrespectful. But the thing is, if she would have sought like charges or maybe to sue him for using her brand without her permission, then he would have been like, "Oh, look what you're doing! You weaponizing the white man or the y'all against me." But it's like, okay, well, you put something out that I asked you not to do. But yeah, I really don't like how they dealt with Kiki in this moment. Anyways, let's continue. We're listening to a little bit more from her. But trust me, this is not the beginning nor the end for Tremaine. Now, Kiki is going to talk about it a little bit more with Larry King, and we're going to watch that next. Let's continue.
Sexism and the misogyny that is constantly encouraged and accepted. And when it happens and it's done, people want to settle it in private. But the reality is it's not settled in private. The women are disrespected publicly, and then we're supposed to be quiet and accept it. I just can't no more. I just feel like that was a situation that, people was trying to take advantage of me. And then to see that they think they're going to get away with it, no. And it sucks because you don't want that to happen with people that you admire and you love and you support. You want them to protect you. You don't want them to try to take advantage of you. And I think that's why I feel mostly disappointed, is because I want to be able to be like, yo, I support my brother and shit like that. But I can't when you don't support me. And what's even worse is when you see the females that feel as if, let it happen to you.
And I feel her on that. I feel her on that for real. Because there is a lot of misogyny. But she needs to let go of that. Oh, I want to support my brother. Everybody ain't your brother. Everybody ain't your family. Everybody ain't your man's. Everybody is not worthy of your covering. And I hate that some women feel an automatic necessity to do that just because we all got black skin. No, not everybody is worthy of covering. So I think the fact that she called this out, she was on point. And, she was probably second guessing her instincts, maybe thinking, well, why would I do this? But I think at the end of the day, she made the right choice. Because if he's out here doing whatever the hell it is he's doing towards women, especially women who are vulnerable in the industry, who are young, maybe who look up to him, then he should be called out. Absolutely. Sorry, guys, I was off cam for a second. But Interested Lady says, if she complains publicly, they'll brand her hard to work with, like other actresses have been labeled. Yeah, she already was. This was about 8 years ago, so it's fairly old. But when this was brought up, it wasn't so normalized that all of these people who people consider to be very popular and powerful in the industry, it wasn't so normal that they were all being sued. Now, a lot of these cases with Trey Songz have happened already, but it's like the media attention for them were so small. It's like the focus was so small. But now, in the age of a Diddy lawsuit where Cassie sued him, all these back-to-back lawsuits, Trey Songz was actually in one of his lawsuits. There was a judgment issued, a default judgment, because he didn't show up to court. And so what he's claiming now is that he wasn't properly served. But it's an $11 million judgment. So a lot of this stuff is coming to fruition right now. That judgment was ordered in October. And obviously, once him and his attorneys got the bill at that point from the court, he's fighting it. But let's continue. We're going to hear a little bit more from Kiki on this video. And then she's going to go to Larry King, because this is just her on social media responding to what happened.
Let it happen to you. The fact that even other females don't want to support each other in speaking up when they feel as if they've been taken advantage of or disrespected, that shit is gross. And I'm really not even saying the half of it.
All right, so I think Kiki, what is Kiki, a Virgo? All right, hold on, guys. I'm going to put some background music. I'll be right back with you.
Talk to someone else because I can't talk to bro boy. I can't talk to bro boy. I can't talk to bro boys. I can't talk to bro boy. I can't talk to bro boy. No. I can't talk to bro boy. I can't talk to. That nigga's crazy. Hopping in, bitch, and I saw it to be. Snakes in the grass, so they harder to see. My brother would give up his life to the O. He told me he'd go be a martyr for me. Said that she ready to come to the 6. I hit up Pauline and charter the P. Ain't really leave, but I'm back. I'm back. I'm back. I'm riding around in Atlanta with Sav, cause that nigga been going harder than me. Nothing to change, I'm just harder to please. Ferrari is making an SUV. We ain't got a choice, we ordering these. Shout out Noel for recording the V's. He know where this shit about to go. Cause nobody touching the flow. They say you alone at the top, but it's gotta be lonely below. You was getting ready to diss, but don't even mention the hoe. And don't even mention the foe, unless you was trying to go broke.
Whoa, I got more strikes than Adidas.
Yeah, I got them stripes fuck.
I don't chase bitches, I leave them.
Hoes screaming like a pussy.
I don't get mad, I get even.
You niggas like a pussy.
All right, guys. So sorry for the mild interruption. Let's get into it. So Kiki does further go on to talk about the situation publicly. She goes and speaks to Larry King, and he's one of many that she does speak to, but I wanted to hear this interview from her. All right, can you guys do me a favor also? Hit the like button for me, all right? I know we're doing some different content today, but I wanted to give you guys a little bit more than just body cam, show you guys the range of content that I have to offer. So if you guys can hit the like button for me, I'll appreciate it. Let's get into it.
Addressed.
Yeah.
On Instagram, the R&B singer Trey Songz. He was a guest here.
Ah.
He released a new music video for his song "Pick Up the Phone," and you make a cameo appearance, as I understand it. But you say you never authorized him to use your likeness.
Yeah.
Okay. What were you doing there if you didn't want to be in the video?
Well, it was a party. It
Oh,
was a regular party. You know, I was in Miami for New Year's. A lot of friends there, people there. You know, so I just went to hang out, and then it turned into a video.
You didn't know it would be a video.
No, I didn't know.
Did you see cameras?
Yeah, when I started to see cameras, I was like, okay, they filming a video. Ain't got nothing to do with me, you know, until they started asking me to be in it.
They did ask you to be in it.
Yeah, more
And
than
you
once.
said no?
Yeah, more than once.
Why did you say no?
Because I wasn't in the right mind. I had been drinking and eating, and it wasn't a professional environment. It was not a place where I'm like, I'm in the right mind to decide if this works with my brand, if I like the artist. I don't know nothing about the artist that it's also in the song.
Did you say no to the producer or to Trey?
I said first no to the producer, then said no to the assistant, and then said no to Trey, and then said it again after I, came out the closet.
What did you mean by sexual intimidation?
I mean, just that, sexual intimidation. Like I feel as a female, often I'm put in situations where sometimes males will use their masculinity, their sexuality to taunt you. I hate to have to bring and say that and make it known, but I mean, look, I ain't the first person that's gone through. People have gone through this all the time. In college, in high.
I wonder what she means by using their sexuality to taunt you. because Trey Songz really does. He really does give Deviant. And I'm not saying that just because of his recent associations. Like, he gives me that type of guy that thinks nobody would ever say no to him. Right? That he thinks his shit don't stink. Every woman from the beginning to the ends of the earth would be attracted to him. He gives me that type of vibe when I see him and his whole brand that he has going on. All right, let me put a picture up just so you guys can kind of see what I'm talking about, right? You guys obviously saw him in the thumbnail, right? But Trey Songz he's always been that guy, that people just say he's like a sex symbol, he's a handsome man or whatever. They always talked about how gorgeous he was and how beautiful. I always thought he was like, okay, he's attractive, but it was something in his aura that made him come across like extremely arrogant. So I'm gonna share this tab just so you guys can look at some pictures of him. Right, Trey Songz he was a well-planned specimen. Okay, he's not a waste of DNA or nothing. He's a good-looking dude, right? But I do think there's an aura to him of like, oh yeah, I can get whoever I want. I've just been the most handsome artist ever. When really he's had some interactions with law enforcement that we're going to see today that that's not the concern at hand. What do you mean? I'm just providing some primary sources of Trey Songz, right? Some pictures of him because he's this like pretty boy in the industry, right? He's the Think Again. Are you one of his baby mothers? Are you one of his baby mothers? I'm just wondering. Because otherwise we're going to get into some stuff. Oh, no, someone asked to be smashing out. Listen, don't be paying attention to these folks in here. Some of these folks, they be just smoking and drinking all day. They don't even know what time it is right now. But he's the pretty boy of the industry, right? His musical career, I don't think it went very far, right? Drake used to compare himself to Trey Songz all the time and talk about, oh, they always thought Trey Songz was going to be as big as me and I surpassed him. That's a lyric, but there was some talk behind some of that. The only reason they're messing with him is because he supported where did he support the Black community? See, now y'all just coming in here, Think Again. You're coming in here to troll because where did he support the Black community? You guys are getting on my nerves. Okay, don't start getting on my nerves. Okay, where did he support the Black community? So was he gonna buy up CBS? Look at this is a version of Trey Songz too. I mean, I don't like this narrative that someone is always out to get them. That's not the case here. Let's hear a little bit more from Kiki, who is also our Black sister, and her experience that she had with Trey Songz.
High school, but these aren't the things that I've experienced. So this was like kind of one of my first major experiences. It would be like you going to a party where the biggest jock is there, and the whole time he's like, you can get screwed. You can get this. You can get that. And you ain't no little girl no more.
Have you heard from Trey since you posted it?
I haven't heard from him directly. No.
Who'd you hear from?
I heard from my manager. And
your manager said what?
The same thing that everybody always says. I didn't know.
So your manager had no knowledge of it?
No, not my manager, saying that Trey said I didn't know.
Are you planning to take legal action?
Yes, I am. I mean, the video is down now, but I mean,
but
more so,
out,
it's out and it's over. But I feel more so, my point isn't to say.
And the funny thing is, she did tear that video down because I don't think I ever saw a video of her. I don't think I ever saw it. Like, I knew when all this was coming out that what was going down, but I think the video was taken down. I don't know if there's an update somewhere, but. Oh, Kendrick Lamar's halftime show. I don't know if there's an update somewhere, but yeah, no, that I never saw that video. You guys let me know if you guys saw that video in the chat. All right, I'm going to end there. I'm going to move on to the next video. Okay, so Kiki was one person that we definitely heard about early on when it came to Trey Songz. Now let's hear this case here about some of Trey Songz examples of him having temper issues. You know, this is just a very short clip, and then we're gonna move into another video of him getting into a fight with a man in the industry. All right, let me share this video here. Lee Nug, stop being weird. Okay, we can start blocking people. I honestly think it's fine when you guys like do like baseline trolling, but when you get to be too much, you're getting banned. So, okay. So this was him getting ejected from somewhere and acting a fool. Now, why does Trey Songz look like our body cam footage of drunk people on a Saturday night? Did you guys see that? Hold on. He looks a little smashed, but let's see if we can get it. Yeah, so apparently he's had many instances like this, interacting with the police and just getting, these are all old videos talking about something recent. Oh, don't worry, I got plenty of lawsuits that we're going to actually look over, and not everything is a YouTube video, but I wanted to give you guys some visuals. So, honey, if you're sitting in the chat, holding on to your seat, we will be looking at the lawsuit, okay? What's the backstory? I think he was just drunk and belligerent in that video. All right, now we're gonna look at Jacquees and Trey Songz having an issue. This is gonna be not Trey Songz. It's gonna be Jacquees giving his, sort of understanding of what happened that night, and then we're gonna go into some actual footage, which is gonna be documents from court about what Trey Songz is being sued for, what default judgment was issued in October, and some more. All right, let's get into it.
How did you get online and admit that Trey Songz whipped your ass, man? That shit was crazy.
So first
Like
of all,
all of a sudden, I'm chilling.
I gotta sit up for this shit, bro.
What? Why did you do that?
First of all, my name Trey Songz is my brother. That's my big brother. I love him to life. I don't say I love you to death because that means you love him till they die. You know what I'm saying? I love you to life. You hear me? I love my brother. You hear me? Like, it's like, we got in a fight. I went online, bro, because I was hurt. You know what I'm saying? That was our first fight. You know what I'm saying? I was really hurt. You know what I'm saying? Like, hurt because I've been around Trey since I was like 15, 16. You know what I'm saying? I never expected us to ever fight physically. Verbally is different than physical fight.
You got to detail the fight.
I won. I won.
No, you didn't.
Wait.
It's
I won.
impossible that you won.
I won. And I love Trey. I won.
I'm saying the internet was some bullshit, though.
Yeah, the internet was some bullshit.
Going to the internet.
I ain't even go.
Well, academics has really been a D-rider for like a decade. This video's like a decade old, isn't it? Oh no, this is 4 months old. Okay, so he talked about it more recently, but this happened a while ago, as far as I believe. Okay, let's continue.
So I ain't even gonna get on here like I said I beat my brother like I won. I ain't gonna lie. Listen,
It's impossible.
It
for
was
you to
a
win.
tie. It was a tie.
It's impossible for you to win.
All right, if it ain't no tie, I
when
won.
you were counting the dreads that got pulled out your head, it's impossible for you.
I
to win.
told you, made.
Let me tell you some real shit. Bro pulled my dreads out, right? But I thought that's my brother. Like I said,
I'm thinking
always
he beat the dreads out of you.
I'ma always acknowledge.
Like, could you imagine that?
I'ma always acknowledge first that's my brother. He didn't beat the dreads out of shit. Bro, you gotta understand. When I got my dreads and they not twisted, if you pull my hair, like they might yank out because they not tight to the root. So he pulled my hair for sure. But that's my brother. Like, it's like I should have never went on the internet. You know what I'm saying? But
Okay,
that's
but you think
Now, why was Trey Songz over here yanking out wigs and snatching extensions? Since when do men be yanking wigs and extensions? Since when? Let me find out Trey Songz could be wearing kitten heels. So he reached for his dread and pulled it out because he saw it wasn't attached to the root. That's some petty shit. That's some petty shit. Let's continue.
you go on the internet?
I went on the
And,
internet.
I'm gonna say this too. He has the same type of story as Kiki, right? I met him when I was young. We've been cool since I was young. I never would have thought we would be in that situation. Like, it seems like he goes from, being a role model superhero type to becoming this weird, belligerent, person. I wonder what he was doing in the industry. Sin No More says, back in the day, warriors used to shave their heads to go to battle for the same reason. Okay, sir. Let's continue.
Okay, so you did go on the internet. So give us a little bit of clarification because this is somebody who clearly you had a relationship with.
No, I
somebody
have
you
a
met.
relationship. That's my brother. That's my brother.
What led up to that? As much as you can say.
I don't know. That's just my brother, man. It's like, that's my brother,
That was
bro.
beefing over girls.
Nah, bro. It's like, that was a family fight, honestly. It should have never got public. That was on me.
Yeah.
You feel me?
You don't
Like,
fight with your family.
yes,
Yes,
you
you
do.
do.
I fight my partners every other day.
So
When's the last time y'all two caught a squabble?
We never, but tell them
Hey,
niggas how much I fight.
Boy, it was one day we were finna. Boy,
But tell them niggas how much I really fight these niggas.
for sure. You got to hit with your folks sometimes.
I
bro.
actually I have a sneaky suspicion, and
I'm not fighting you.
what I think happened is that
We should never
it's
We'll
no.
get into it though. Nah,
With all due
I don't wanna do
respect,
it.
I think when I seen it, I said this might be the year of the little man. I said you got the little man syndrome, and you probably try to buck up on Trey.
Nah,
He put you in your
bro.
place.
Bro, listen, this ain't even little man syndrome shit. Like, I don't have that. Like, I feel like,
Man, I never seen you as the aggressive guy, but I never seen you
because,
as-
bro, you never.
Academics is so disrespectful for somebody who has no credentials to be saying that. That was so disrespectful. And I actually like Jacquees because he's one of the more. I think people make fun of like his like how he be singing, but I think he's one of the more talented, people out of where he's out of. So for the fact that he's looking at these songs like, damn, I thought you was OG. And you was fighting me over some petty stuff. I think it's sort of telling about his character. I always wondered why he didn't go far in the industry, but I was not somebody who paid attention to like, celebrity gossip or entertainment drama or anything. So I always was just chalked it up to, he didn't make no more music. But he had a little tumultuous situation going on in his career. He was getting arrested. That wasn't his only arrest. But we're going to hear some more. Jacquees is going to break it down. Obviously, no dreads were really snatched. Purposefully, apparently. It was a fight, and they're still brothers. I don't know. Do internet trolls become groomers who talk about inappropriate subjects with minors? Because I don't know about that. I don't know about that being a troll behavior. I think that's more PDF file creep behavior. I also want to note that Drake, I don't know if you guys saw him, but he was wearing some clear, like sparkly or like clear silver nail polish with his outfit yesterday for the Super Bowl. And I was like, what the is this? It really disturbed me. So I'm going to show you guys, that really quickly, and then we're going to get back to the serious conversation of what these industry dudes are doing. So I don't know if you guys, I know you hoes have seen this nail polish color. Do you guys see that? Let me make it bigger. This is like the quintessential 12-year-old girl nail polish right here that he got on. And it's just making me very uncomfortable. I don't know. Can you guys see his hands? Do you guys see that? It's like sparkly. Oh, I'm on the wrong screen. Sorry, guys. I have to go over here and show you this perp. But like, you guys see that? He has like sparkly nail polish on. I mean, these industry dudes are incredibly weird. I don't remember like the R&B sensations and like the raps. I don't remember them being so weird. You know, I was very intrigued, but I was also very impressed by Kendrick Lamar's wardrobe, right, for the halftime show. But if Drake had been, for example, the halftime show artist, and he came out wearing this outfit and having, you know, clear, sparkly nail polish on, like, I just would wonder what's happening. It's been a stressful night. Thanks for going live. Oh, I'm sorry, Louie. I hope you're doing good. I hope you're doing good. Mondays are always hard. We made it, though. It's only 9:12. We're looking into some of these industry freaks. They're weirdos, all right? So let's hear a little bit more from Jacquees about his fight with Trey Songz. And then we're going to go through some of the actual lawsuits, because I remember somebody was in here a few minutes ago. They were like, this is all old. Talk about the new stuff. Okay. We're going to talk about lawsuits from 2020, 2023, 2022. We're going to get into all of it. So let's hear a little bit more from Jacquees about what happened between him and Trey Songz, and then we'll get into those lawsuits.
Been hurt like that.
Yeah.
That's all, bro. Like, I will admit to the world. Hey, put the camera on me, just me right quick. Bro, I admit to the world I was wrong, bro, for putting my family on blast. Nigga, that's how I feel. I feel like I put my family on blast. Like, you never put the family on blast. This is how we came up. Remember, we talked about how we was raised, right? You don't put the family on blast, no matter how mad you is. But I can really honestly say respectfully to the world and to you, my nigga, I was emotionally hurt and I wasn't thinking. Because if I was thinking, nigga, you over there. You can't do that over there. And if I was thinking for real, that ain't what you stand on. That ain't business. You know what I'm saying? That ain't business.
You said some stuff about him, though, which...
That ain't even police, because I don't give a fuck. Niggas gonna tell and do the most gangster shit ever and still gonna tell. And I still ain't gonna tell. And I ain't got nothing to tell on. But at the end of the day, I went to the internet on some shit with my brother. You know what I'm saying? I should have never did that.
You apologize for that part of it.
I apologize for only that. That's it.
Do you think he owes you an apology for beating you up?
He didn't beat me up. I want you to understand this, and I want you to put this on the clarity. I didn't lose no fight. I haven't lost a fight since I was like 5. A little nigga choked me, DDT me when I was
little. What did you do to him, man? No, we got to get into a little bit.
I ain't lost no fights when I was a little nigga.
If he ripped out your hair, by the way, I was watching the videos.
But that's just like saying a nigga nose bleed lost the fight. He might have got hit one time and beat the fuck out of that nigga.
If I'm watching a boxing match and one nigga got a busted lips.
Looking at the internet, look at it like whoever went and said something first, it like
they got beat up. You running for help. You a hit dog holler.
Hey, listen.
I did what you saying, but it wasn't that. I was just like, hey, bitch.
I better hear that you deflated one of his muscles or something.
You gotta think, B, you posted 3.
Now, if that wasn't the largest example of and this only applies to men, of glazing, right? Another artist just to glaze. That was definitely a very hefty example of it. All right, now I want to juxtapose what we're watching with the lawsuit. All right, this lawsuit came in, I believe this first one was filed in 2020 against Tremaine Newsom. Okay, this is what his name is. This is what we're going to talk about. This is from the appeal. This is the appeal from the United States District Court from the Southern District of Florida. Wilson Jordan and Aaron Circuit Court judges. All right. The plaintiff proceeding as Jane Doe appeals to the District Court denial of her motion to proceed under a pseudonym in her sexual assault and battery action against Tremaine Alden Neverson. And I get it, right? I get why these people would like to stay anonymous. It makes it very difficult, though. It makes it difficult to make the case for all the other people who are going through situations with these artists. All right. Sorry, guys. Okay. So she wanted to proceed as Jane Doe. I guess that was denied at some point, and Ms. Doe claims that proceeding under her real name would bring great shame to her and her family due to the religious beliefs, as well as subject to her online bullying and harassment. After careful review of Ms. Doe's brief and the record, we reverse and remand her further proceedings. Ms. Doe alleges that Neverson, an internationally acclaimed musical artist, sexually assaulted her while the two were partying at a nightclub in Miami on January 1st, 2018. So this is about a year after, well, maybe less than a year after Kiki spoke up about what was going on between her and him at the party, pressuring her, trying to force her to be in a video. Okay, so it's not really that long from that instance. Miss Doe alleges that Neverson invited her to a nightclub after they spent New Year's Eve celebrating together at the house of hip-hop mogul, Sean P. Diddy Combs on Star Island. Upon arriving at the nightclub, Miss Doe accompanied Mr. Neverson to a VIP table, wherefore he forcibly placed his hand under her dress and attempted to do digital penetration. About 2 years later, Ms. Doe sued Mr. Neverson in federal court for SA, battery, and negligent and intentional infliction of emotional distress. Trigger warning. Okay, this is very graphic. He forced himself on her, essentially. Okay. About 2 years later, Ms. Doe sued Mr. Neverson in federal court for SA, battery, and negligent and intentional infliction of emotional distress. She filed her complaint using the pseudonym Jane Doe. Before Mr. Neverson was served with a summons, the district court, sua sponte, ordered Ms. Doe to show cause as to why the complaint should not be dismissed because it was impermissibly filed under a fictitious name. Now, that's a weird technicality for them to bring up, knowing that she filed under John Doe for, like safety purposes, religious. I mean, if she comes from a certain culture, then her life could be in danger by revealing what happened to her. Okay, on January 10, 2020, Ms. Doe responded to the order to show cause and moved for leave to proceed pseudonymously. In the motion, Ms. Doe argued that she should be permitted to proceed under a pseudonym because she will be required to disclose matters of the utmost intimacy, including Mr. Neverson's SA. She further asserted that she comes from a devout Muslim. So basically, she was arguing against showing her name because her culture, her religion would shame her. It doesn't matter what the circumstances of the assault were. In addition, Ms. Doe argued that if her identity were publicized, she and her family would be subject to online bullying, harassment, and threats. She claimed that because Mr. Neverson is a well-known music artist, the lawsuit has made national news and has been picked up by multiple blogs and websites, including The Shade Room. And that The Shade Room's Instagram post of story garnered nearly 80,000 likes and received over 7,000 comments. She further asserted that a pseudonym would not prejudice Mr. Neverson because she would provide him with a real name under protective order so that he could conduct discovery and build a defense. So basically that means that he would be able to know who she was, but him and his attorneys wouldn't be able to disclose, which is the important part, right? That she can still proceed in this trial without people blasting her name. When these cases, especially in the era of Diddy, go public, they can really bring a lot of attention to the people who are involved. Even if the intention isn't to shame them, it can bring unnecessary attention to them and their, who they are. Religion being one of the important ones. Thank you guys so much for hitting the like button. If you can continue to do that for me, I'll greatly appreciate it. To substantiate these claims, Ms. Doe attached her own declaration attesting that she grew up in Trinidad and comes from a strict Muslim household where under their cultural beliefs and traditions, such SA would have a tendency to bring shame and humiliation upon her family. She further declared that she only fears the reprisals affiliated with her religion, but that she will be subject to online harassment and bullying, and that Mr. Neverson's fans will leak her telephone number, address, and perhaps her job information. Honestly, if we haven't seen what was going on with Meg Thee Stallion, besides being attacked by, Tory Toupee Lanez, she had Nicki Minaj releasing the location of her father's grave site. She lost both of her parents. She has no living parents. And for some reason, that was something that was used as a weapon against her by people in the industry. So it's not far-fetched that these things would happen to her or anybody else who threatened to expose somebody powerful in the industry. Ms. Doe attached the Shade Room's post about the lawsuit titled Trey Songz reportedly hit with $10 million lawsuit and damages for SA battery, which reflects that it has 77,000 likes. She also attached examples of comments made by readers on the Shade Room post, such as these hoes gotta stop with this BS. Just another female trying to get some money from a celebrity. Man, get the F out of here. Where she at? Leave Trey alone. Hashtag leave Trey alone. Hashtag thirst traps. And you know, the sad part is we can go and look at social media and like social media really is telling. Like there's a lot of people who would side with celebrities no matter what. They don't care what's being said. They don't care about the truth. What they care about is their image, their belief about that celebrity in their head. So that celebrity can get away with basically murder in some cases, you know, but in this case, that's it. One makes it out of the industry untouched. Is there anybody who does? I mean, there's sort of an insinuation that like people like Kiki and some of the younger people who got out of the industry were untouched per se, but even that's not necessarily completely assured. Now, I don't know if you guys can see this, but I'm reading what was cited in her lawsuit. She says, I know someone can, or this is a quote of a comment. I know someone can pull up Diddy's 2017 New Year's Eve photos. Let's find out who this chick is, roomies. How much would it have been if he deleted the same person? Y'all gonna stop lying on my man. I'm ready to fight. And she lying. I indicate who it is. She lying. Yeah. So that's pretty much some of the pathetic stuff that people say online about celebrities that they don't know. You know, we do live in a culture of celebrity worship. You know, that's something, that's a various theme that I've been hearing about from, you know, some of the best. And it's just a fact. A lot of people believe that they know celebrities, that they can relate to them. But a lot of times those are personas. You know, what you're getting, the music, the persona, all of it is image. It's not a real person. There's nobody real behind it. There's a team. There's like 10 people holding reflective glass to, you know, present this image of a celebrity. It's really not what it seems. Selling your soul at the crossroads in the real thing. But I feel like, Vic, you say that, but what evidence do you really have to prove that? Right? I truly think we really don't know. Like, for real, we just hear what we hear. But people are obviously going through weird ritualistic shit in the industry that they don't talk about. All right. So let's see a little bit more on this lawsuit against Trey Songz. Again, this was filed in July 30th of 2020. All right. But she did not identify anyone who might harm her. So they were trying to say that her claiming personal embarrassment or whatever is not a reason. They said there's no evidence to say that anybody will identify her, but that's not what it's about, right? The internet contains sleuths, right? So somebody who lives millions and millions of miles away from you can find out information about you using your digital footprint, right? That's the new way of hacking people. That's the new way of getting people's information, is getting things from how you post online, figure out who your friends are, seeing where you're tagged and stuff. And then people can a lot of times make those connections. So, all right, let me see what we got next over here. All right, so that's Trey Songz. That's just that one lawsuit, okay? She proceeded to go forward with this one. I think this is the one that ended up being settled here. I just want to see if I can get to... Oh, that's just one of the filings. But I believe that lawsuit from 2020, he was actually charged initially in that. All right. Hey, Lana. What's going on, girl? All right. So the next person I'm going to talk about was actually in part of the video that we just watched. This person is DJ Akademiks. All right. So we're going to talk about two instances of him. Now, one of them is of him. Oopsies. Let me see here. Did I take it off? I think I did. All right. So there are two instances with DJ Akademiks. One of them is an instance that I first heard about from several different people, one of them being Taz. He does a lot of different content like that on PDF files and just creeps like that. And so that particular one was it was a very wild story, right? There was a video on his page where you can hear a woman screaming, and it didn't really sound like part of his background. Didn't seem like a normal part of his scene. Like he got up at some point. So it was a very bizarre thing that no one really discussed. And then the lawsuit came out. A lot of it was mainly ignored, but it sort of resurfaced in my attention when DJ Akademiks was recently caught being a creep with a young boy. All right, now before we get into that story, we're going to get into this lawsuit that was actually discussed a little while ago, but it came back to the surface. This is 8 months ago, but it came back to the surface a little bit more recently. All right, so let's get into this video. This video is by Jamari Speaks. If you guys want to do me a favor, hit the like button, and we're going to continue on this. Yeah, we were talking about Trey Songz, but if you look at my thumbnail, there's three different gentlemen there, and they're very far from gentlemen, but I'm going to use that for lack of a better word. But there's Trey Songz, DJ Akademiks, and P. Diddy. Now, I did say part one because I think maybe at the 2.5 hour mark that we're going to still be on Akademiks in the beginning, just getting into Diddy, but we'll see where we're at. I'm going to try to focus on this three trifecta because I think they are, they're part of Black culture, and people tend to idolize these types without really knowing who they are. So let's get into this suit. And I want to say this, this story that I believe he's going to talk about, this was against an undocumented woman. So I don't know, if that might be what might have impacted the efforts that were put into it, but this got me really, really upset. So let's get into this story.
In the course of the last couple of weeks, it's safe to say that DJ Akademiks had possibly reached his peak as a content creator. With him being the biggest hip-hop blogger and Drake lover for the last decade, Kendrick versus Drake was an insane time for him, where hundreds of thousands of people were tuning into his streams and sharing his clips, garnering billions of impressions across Twitter, YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram.
Somebody's lying, I can see the vibes on act. Even he looking compromised. Let's peel the layers back.
How am I compromised? Why you say me for?
But now Ak has been in the news for a whole nother reason, as a woman has now stepped forward and is alleging defamation. Fazia Abashi is the name of the woman who filed the lawsuit against Akademiks, this coming only months after the situation began to go public, and she had even posted this video at that time.
I look crazy right now, but I'm not going to stand here and let this man continue to lie about me. That's not what happened, Akademiks. You know that that's not what happened. And for you to pretend that you didn't do anything, that I just went to your house and I'm just some thought, like we didn't know each other for 2 years. You tried to save yourself after your friends assaulted me. Whether or not you got drunk or not, I know that when you woke up, you were on top of me too. Me too, and a test, it was done. You know what? I'm gonna come back with my own story. This what you wanted, you're about to get it. I've been quiet for way too long.
And now she is indeed coming forward with her own story, and things are definitely going to heat up as it plays out in the eyes of the public. And the reason that she even made this video in the first place is all because DJ Academic's ex-girlfriend Cheyenne was trying to expose him online.
It's like y'all gonna see later on when the girl come out with her own story, like.
And the internet detectives kind of started to put two and two together. This story was catching some major steam at the end of 2023, and SWAC did an entire response stream to try and defuse this bomb. Release this video because it makes him look so stupid. When you have so much to lose, you have to be much more in control than this. And inviting people to your house and passing out from intoxication is just an incredibly idiotic move. Like, to me, you're just begging for some sort of legal consequences.
But even that night, like that night was being a good guy.
Look, I'm not saying these allegations are a fact by any means. I'm just saying that he created an environment where he had his two boys over, he invited this girl over, and then he told them that she was on a promiscuous vibe before he passed out for 7 hours straight. Those are all things that he said. That all came out of his mouth.
But I'm feeling the way because I'm like, really came to my crib and just my isn't really think I don't know type shit. Like I said, I got a whole video of whatever happened. And she was like, what are you talking about? I still think she playing dumb. I'm like, I'm just trying to make sure, yo, you good, whatever you did last night. I didn't think you was that type of girl, but it. It's cool. And for the guys who's watching, this is what being a good guy gets you. Because I could have acted like nothing happened.
But once again,
And you know, it's sort of sick, right? That in reality, this person was taken advantage of, right? Essentially, that's what they're alleging. And he's gonna play it off like, oh, this man just slept with my bee, slept with my hoe. Like, there's something really weird about that. Like, I don't know. Let's continue.
Created this interaction and brought the people together. So in my mind, he at least has some responsibility in the aftermath of that situation. Like, maybe this woman didn't realize what happened, she went and got tested and something suspicious came up, and then if she wants to go back and see the evidence, I don't really see an issue with that. This would eventually result in a raid of his house.
They put me, my mom, Cheyenne in cuffs. They bring me down to the
I mean, that should have been evident to him years ago. How someone could still be this green and leaving themselves vulnerable for bad shit to happen on their property is just beyond stupidity. That's not even to mention this guy needs to stop being so reckless. Drinking every day at 8 a.m. for 10 years is just ridiculous. He would even go on stream and share these text messages from the two after the incident occurred.
I tell her, yo, you should go get tested, because okay, granted, you didn't mean to whatever, but you have the two dudes unprotected. You should probably go get tested. This is what I say to her. I mean, not sure what you want me to say. That's why I asked you while you were here if everything you did while I was sleeping, you were okay with doing. Remember I told you, I said, before I got to confront, I said, yo, everything you did last night, you were cool with doing, right? And she was like, yeah, I had fun. She said, well, I was sleeping. You were okay with doing it. You said, yeah. So I don't know. I was passed out for most of it, but I'd wake up now and then. Also, I was in shock. I got most of the information from you. Remember, I'm watching this shit like, yo, bro, you know what's like, I'm watching on the camera from you. Before then, I never met the other guy. So he just took the opportunity, I guess.
Personally, I think her lawyer is going to have an absolute field day with this information he chose to divulge to his massive audience. In fact, at this point, I do kind of want to get down to...
And you know, the way this is what I'm saying, like, the way that he's just candidly speaking about this, not only is this stupid, right, in terms of like a case being built against you, but it's obvious that you're trying to tarnish this woman's reputation, right? You're insinuating, that you like to sleep around with a bunch of dudes and all that. You invited her over. You got her drunk, whatever. She said you were pushing alcohol on her. I totally believe that because these types always act like they got it. This is what I'm saying. These like Drake lovers, Trey Songz lovers, these don't talk about my man types. They think these men can just have whoever they want. That's not how it works. You still have to get consent. Someone still has to be interested in you. If you come upon a woman who ain't never heard of you as Trey Songz, don't find you attractive or nothing, then that woman's not interested, period. right? But there are some people who would believe that nobody would ever turn down these industry dudes, and that's a very, very dangerous conversation. Now, Academics is no industry dude. He's a fat, stupid, like a fat, dumb YouTuber. He's not nobody like for real, like serious, popular. You guys can say, oh, well, you just a little tiny little YouTuber over there struggle streaming. Okay, and he's not nobody still. It don't matter if I'm a little struggle streamer. He still ain't nobody. Yet he was out here setting situations up like this. I truly believe he did set that lady up, because the way he's discussing all this publicly and saying, oh, well, I'm wondering. And mind you, he put them text messages out. This is a case that might go to court, right? Because the way you're handling it, and you're going to put the text messages out for your YouTubers to see, right? That's because he wanted to save face with his audience. He wanted to get ahead of it. He knows the public court of opinion is going to speak a lot louder than law enforcement is going to move sometimes, right? And I believe he was trying to get ahead of this. Right now, let's hear a little bit more. Jamari does break it down very well, and I think other YouTubers have broke it down as well, but I can't pull up their videos. So we're going to focus on this one here. He's going to break down exactly what evidence has come out, as well as what DJ Academics is saying publicly that has made his character come into question even more than it already was, right? Because I think he's someone who was put in the industry to glaze and, suck on the tits of other men in the industry, essentially. Because you heard him, like, he was making fun of Jacquees, saying, oh, you got beat up by Trey Songz. Like, I mean, I guess some teasing, but you don't know this man to be like in real life person talking to him like that. But that's where like the awkward weirdness comes into some of these like hip hop personalities, for lack of a better word. But let's continue.
To the nitty gritty of this lawsuit. She's being defended by the same lawyer who is handling the Rodney Jones suit against Diddy. His name is Tyrone Blackburn, and we'll get back to why that's important here in a second. On or about July 16, 2022, defendant Allen contacted Miss Abashi and invited her to come to his house and visit him in New Jersey. Even though it had been almost a year since they last saw each other, Abashi did not expect any ill intentions and agreed. She was accustomed to visiting Allen at his home in New Jersey, and Mr. Allen would send a car to pick her up. Miss Abashi lives in Pennsylvania. On the day of the incident, when Abashi arrived to enjoy her evening, little did she know that defendant Livingston Allen and his two accomplices, John Doe 1 and 2, would violate her. The morning after the incident, Abashi was unaware of what happened. She only became aware after Mr. Allen showed her surveillance footage of her being essayed by John Doe 1 and 2 on his pool deck. Abashi was in shock and fearful after the reality of what had occurred set in. In the aftermath, Abashi reported Allen and his accomplices' actions to the police. A violation kit was performed, evidencing that Miss Abashi had been essayed. Since reporting the horrific violations, Abashi chose silence and remained silent until on or about December 30th, 2023, when Mr. Allen took to social media and defamed Abashi. Allen accused Abashi of voluntarily having an orgy with his friend.
You see what I'm saying? Using his platform and his influence to intimidate this girl after, causing her to delay to take justice. A lot of times people will try to work it out with the person, or maybe they'll feel bad at first and not want to go forward until they see the person's reaction. And what was his reaction? Okay, this is not going to go over well. I'm going to go online and I'm going to start defaming her. I'm going to use my platform, right? My very valuable, monetarily, beneficial platform that essentially is used as a promoter. Artists and content creators and all types of people, right? He's used as a medium to the industry. So he used that platform to speak against this girl, to discredit her, to devalue her, right? By saying she was into an orgy and texting her and saying, were you okay with everything you did? As if she knew, right? He himself was drunk and passed out, but somehow she knew what she was doing, right? This is the irony of these situations, how Whew, I wish she wouldn't have trusted this man to come to his house. That I wish for her. But unfortunately, we can't go backward anymore. She has already made that decision, but these type of men, they will absolutely exploit their relationships with you. They'll play the long game of a friendship, quote unquote, for like 2 years and then assault a woman. Like it's how it works. Unfortunately, this is a danger that a lot of women have to be worried about. It's why a lot of women choose not to befriend men, because there's always this lingering fear that the person that you thought you were friends with is hoping for more, is gonna take or trying to seek more, regardless of how you feel about it. I mean, it's scary stuff. But let's continue. We're gonna hear a little bit more about Akademiks' messy history.
At his home while maintaining that he never participated at all. This led to a spew of public slander, as Alan's account of what happened spread like wildfire on multiple media outlets. And all that comes from that 1-hour video I showed you guys clips of earlier. As detailed below, Alan made several public statements defaming Abashi surrounding the events of her assault. She was filled with anger, and all the suppressed painful memories of that horrific night resurfaced. In her state of anger, Abashi released a video addressing Mr. Allen's involvement in her essay, which I also showed you guys earlier. When Abashi's account was published, Alan lashed out with false statements. Alan denied involvement, even though upon information and belief that Alan's spermicide was discovered on the violation kit, this all publicly damaged Abashi's reputation even further. Before her arrival, Mr. Allen had notified his friends, John Doe 1 and 2, that this woman would be coming over and she was on a different type of vibes. A different type of vibes is an indication that Abashi would be coming over to engage in sexual activity. So already they are using that live stream against Akademiks.
And you know, what's very messed up is these type of dudes will do that, right? They'll set the stage before this person even understands what happens. They will sell them like a, you know what I'm saying? Like they're an object to people. You know, it's very sick. And I really wonder what causes someone to be like, hey, I'm going to invite this girl over who's down, that they know damn well that girl is not down. You know, very, very disturbing. Okay. But let's continue this one. Then I got one more on DJ Akademiks. We're going to hear some about Diddy. Okay. These cases are really, they were really disturbing when they first came out. When we put them together and juxtapose them to what's going on in the industry, I mean, it's very incredibly sick to know what we once idolized. You know, a lot of us used to listen to these artists, used to, you know, sort of really like them and their vibe and their music. And as we grow up and we start seeing these artists for more of what they are, we learn about their misdeeds.
As factual information. When Abashi arrived at Mr. Allen's home, everything seemed normal apart from the neighborhood power outage. John Doe 1, a friend of Alan, greeted her. Abashi was taken aback because Alan did not tell her anyone else would be at his home upon her arrival. She did not suspect anything suspicious, so she entered the home. John Doe 1 invited Abashi into the kitchen and introduced her.
And you know, that's a typical pimping tactic, right? You know, I started a relationship with you. It might be, it might start off casual and then slightly become more of a thing, right? Or it might, you know, be something that's more on the casual side. And then next thing you know, this person is introducing you to somebody else and saying they want you to do something. Now, I do think in this situation that it wasn't very so subtle, right? He thought, I'm going to invite her over. She knows me. I'm going to get her drunk and then allow people to do whatever, which is exactly what happened. But the problem is, you know, after everything was said and done, this young woman was deeply disturbed. You can't just get away with doing something like that to somebody and they're just going to get over it, right? This is where he thought wrong. She's not an object. And so after this happened to her, she was extremely disturbed, and him trying to cover his own trails, you know, he presented to her what happened in the hopes that she would brush it off. A lot of these types of dudes really do hope that women will brush it off and just move on and, take it on the chin. They'll create a narrative, try to bully you. And I think that's exactly what happened here. All right, so we're going to continue on with this lawsuit against DJ Akademiks. That is the topic that we're on right now.
Show to John Doe 2, another one of Mr. Allen's friends. Due to the power outage, the three of them sat in the kitchen together. Abashi engaged in small talk with them patiently while waiting for Mr. Allen to appear. John Doe 1 insisted they prepare Miss Abashi's drink, and unbeknownst to Abashi, John Doe 1 was Mr. Allen's manager or employee, and he asserted his position by telling Abashi that he was in charge until Mr. Allen arrived. As odd as the encounter was, Abashi obliged and allowed John Doe 1 and John Doe 2 to fix her a drink. As the trio conversed, Abashi asked for Mr. Allen and was told to hold on. John Doe 1 then left the kitchen to find Mr. Allen, and when he came back, he said that Allen would join them shortly. Abashi believed this was true and did not go to find Mr. Allen herself because the home was completely dark. Admittedly, Abashi recalls having an eerie feeling, but she ignored it because she had not believed that Allen, whom she had known for nearly 2 years, would harm her or allow her to be harmed. Shortly after the power had returned, John Doe 1 asked Abashi if she wanted to use the hot tub or pool and wait for Mr. Allen there. Abashi said she'd be okay with the hot tub. She was also under the impression that John Doe 1 and 2 would leave after putting the hot tub on, as their actions and gestures made it appear that they were heading out. So she enters the hot tub alone. Shortly after, John Doe 1 appears from inside the house and proceeds to join her in the hot tub. Shortly after, John Doe 2 appeared with a bottle of alcohol, and they began forcing her to take shots of the alcohol. Eventually, Abashi recalls beginning to feel strange. It was not simply a feeling of intoxication, as Abashi had only half of the first drink and a few sips of the new drink that John Doe 1 had provided her as she entered the hot tub. Abashi began feeling extremely hot, as if her body was on fire. She felt extremely lightheaded and dizzy. Now, this is when the alleged incident occurs, and the details are extremely graphic. She claims the two men violated her while she lost function of her body. She then claims after the incident that she was woken up at 4 a.m. by Akademiks also violating her. And like I said earlier, they claim they have evidence of this when she did the test kit to see if she had been violated, and his DNA was allegedly found. According to Miss Abashi, she woke up confused the following morning and searched for Mr. Allen. She looked around the house and found him in the basement on his computer. She sat on the floor next to him, and he asked her if she knew that his friends had ran a check on her, to which she said no. He kept asking, "Are you sure?" Mr. Allen then asked her to follow him into another room, where he showed her the contents of a small trash can that had what appeared to be vomit in it, and 2 gold Magnum condom wrappers, and asked, "You don't remember this?" Abashi was still in disbelief. She had zero recollection of ever being in that room the prior night. She then claims that Akademiks would show her the footage from the security camera. Mr. Allen then assured her that everything was okay, and as he spoke, he noticed Abashi's demeanor began to change. Allen then hastily told her that his mother was on the way and would be there shortly, and proceeded to order her a lift back to Pennsylvania. Mr. Allen asked her where her clothing was. She responded that she had it. He stood there with a suspicious look on his face. Abashi later learned from the police that Allen had disposed of several items, bed sheets, etc., at the dumpster near his office. Presumably, Allen was attempting to destroy the evidence of Abashi's violation. Abashi says bye to Mr. Allen and leaves his home. According to her, she would call him while still in the lift, asking for more answers. This is when she says he began to blame her and ridicule her. Still trying to get answers, she pled with him, even apologizing for what occurred, as she was desperate to learn of the series of events that led to Allen and his accomplices' attack on her. She says she would then ask Allen, "Well, you said that it was both of them, but you only showed me one. Can you please send me proof of this?" To which Allen sent a screenshot of the attack on Abashi laid out on the concrete in front of the pool. And this is when she would contact the police and have the test done. They would then allegedly have her call Akademiks on a wired phone call, where he would allegedly admit to sleeping with her. According to Miss Abashi, on this call, Mr. Allen graphically recounts and admits to having intercourse with Abashi, even going as far as to describe her vagina as being loose, stating, "I know what your feels like. That shit felt loose." The document then shows various bruises and cuts on her body that look pretty bad that she claims came from this incident. And they also go into detail how Akademiks incriminated himself via social media post. And a lot of the information they have comes from that hour-long video he did, as well as the live stream where he shared the text messages. Mr. Allen knew that his statements on December 30th, 2023 were misleading and false, as he was in possession of text messages from Miss Abashi
And it's so funny. He's somebody who goes online and says, well, these people be snitching on themselves. And then in his own case, right, his own situation where he's caught up, mistreating somebody, he is also putting his own nail in the coffin, right? Sharing evidence about the case, making statements about what happened between him and that woman the night. And it's just very, very stupid, but also disturbing that he would be arrogant enough to do this.
Where she stated that she did not know what happened to her on July 16, 2022, and that it was Mr. Allen who informed her of the night's events. She even expressed to him the fact that she was really hurt and needed to seek medical attention and a violation kit. I'm going to get tested this week. Think you should too, to make sure you're good. Yes, I'm going now. I'm hurt really bad. It's unlike me to do this, and I don't even know the other guy's name, so I was just laying there. And then around a day later, you called? I'm considering going in for a violation testing kit for us to figure this out, because it's bits and pieces I remember, and I'm still not okay. I mean, not sure what you want me to say. That's why I asked you while you were here if everything you did while I was sleeping you were okay with doing, and you said yeah, so I don't know. I was passed out for most of it, but I wake up now and then. Also, I was in shock. I got most of the information from you. Before then, I never met the other guy, so he just took the opportunity, I guess. That's why I told you I don't judge. Just trying to make sure you made the choice to do whatever you wanted to do. Always with you, but not this time around. I blacked out. I remember you waking me up during the night. They said you were trying to call and bring your friend to join in. LOL. Since Mr. Allen went on his defamatory tirade about Abashi, several other women have come forward with eerily similar accounts of Allen.
Now, you see that type of wording that he's putting in there saying, oh, well, you don't remember, and I wasn't awake, but they said you were trying to call your friend. Oh, okay, I thought you weren't awake, though, and I thought you don't remember nothing else. Now suddenly you remember that I was trying to call my friend. He's the type that will literally catch himself in a lie with his words, thinking that he's gonna play things off or think that he's gonna get some lie off. That's exactly what's happening here with him. And I'm not surprised what other women came out and said this happened. A lot of people stay quiet. They probably have with him.
And befriending them, inviting them to his house, getting them intoxicated, and then assaulting them. Upon information and belief, because of these subsequent victim accounts, Mr. Allen has a pattern and practice of engaging in behavior. Upon information and belief, several women have come forward and said that Allen contacted them when they were still minors, forged a fake friendship until they were 18, and then attempted to sleep with them. As a result of Mr. Allen's social media tirade against Abashi, Allen has committed defamation per se, and Fulci admitted that he and his friends had intercourse with Abashi on July 16, 2022. And despite his lawyers basically telling him to shut the hell up, Akademiks would boot up his stream as this news was breaking yesterday and had this to say.
I'm going to go against my very high-priced attorney's advice today. I spoke on this in December. The police came, they looked.
Now, I don't know why anybody would go against a high-priced attorney's advice. That doesn't seem smart. Right, but he's gonna reiterate what he claims he already cleared up with the pictures and messages from her.
We gave him everything. Pretty much everything is documented, caught on videotape. They got to see it with their own two eyes. Not only did they say, "Act, you good," and this is not just word of mouth. This is you're officially cleared. We could not bring any criminal charges. You are not criminally liable. Akademiks is an innocent man who has not ever been charged with anything of the sort that has to do with any deviancy or anything like that. Has never been charged, will never be charged. That's a fact.
Basically, he's now claiming that this woman is only trying to get money out of him, as he calls it a shakedown.
This is a shakedown. It's a money tree situation.
He's also claiming that this lawyer has a personal vendetta against him due to his coverage of the Rodney Jones versus Diddy lawsuit.
Do you know who's the lawyer representing whoever against me? Y'all know the lawyer? Could it be a lawyer that I've covered? Could it be a lawyer that not so long ago I did a stream putting up on the screen saying that lawyer might be out here trying to shake people down for money, that immediately the day after that, that lawyer allegedly reached out to some people of mine saying, if ACT continues to doubt what we are purporting against Diddy, remember, we could file a lawsuit on him too.
And then he also speculates that this has to do with him recently reaching his pinnacle of his career.
Chat, would y'all all agree that right now Academics has the most attention he's ever had probably in his career? Yes.
You know, and this is a typical narc move, right? I'm trying to buy CBS. I'm trying to buy CBS. That's why I'm being targeted. No, this is a very disturbing case. The facts of the case were disturbing. The photos of what happened, all of it was extremely disturbing, you know, but, you know, somehow he was able to get away with that. Now, this next video is also, this next video is also regarding DJ Academics, but this time, okay, hold on. This time, this is him dealing with a minor online. Yeah, this is the case I'm going to talk about here. I'm actually going to share someone else's video, and they're going to actually play some footage from the stream with Academics talking to this 15-year-old and how creepy it was. You know, it was very, very creepy to me. But let's get into that.
From Twitch. I've spoken about Academics a few times over the years, and he definitely used to be someone I looked up to in the online commentary space, especially when I first started doing YouTube as my full-time job. But over time, and especially after he became a more mainstream figure,
do it look like I'm left out bad and bullshit? What'd you say?
Academics' ego grew to be too much, and once he started getting FU money, I think he just became a little bit too self-important to me. I would say around the time that he ushered in the Big Ac era. And specifically after his owner Drake got...
Not his owner Drake. But we remember when that situation happened, you know, I thought he was a big aggressive whale when he was yelling like this. You know, this is a sign of somebody who doesn't have a lot of self-control. You know, to be yelling in somebody's face like that, much less for him to be yelling in a woman's face like that. It was a sign of a sassy type. Okay, and it was over a bag. So let's continue.
And specifically after his owner Drake got decimated publicly, I think that really broke Academics down. I don't really like the way he chooses to run his media pages on Twitter.
Bro, you still on your hater campaign, man?
I'm on a hater wait, what hater campaign?
And lately the man has been spiraling, taking anyone who speaks badly about his baby daddy Drake on as his personal nemesis, and overall just acting very strange.
You can't dance to a song about him being a... He used to supply you with the bitches.
I already...
Okay, now did you guys hear that? You can't dance to a song about him being a PDF file. He used to he used to supply you with women. You know, what does that mean, supply? Or are we talking human trafficking? Right? Are we talking distribution of people? X work? That's sort of what it sounds like. Lana Love says, why are they like this? Because Drake really, DJ Academics really does treat Drake like that's his baby daddy, or, you know, one of his bees, one of his lovers. Because the way he glazes him and just talks about him like he's the most favorable man in the world, you're not supposed to regard another man like that. You know, I feel like that's a little weird. Like, to honor somebody, a man who you think is honorable or good person, okay. But to be saying like, oh, Drake and his big muscles, like there's something weird about that. And I bring the bees what they are saying. No, Vic, it's a little bit more than that. It sounds like X work, right? If he's saying that he used to supply him with women, where like, So you're just hitting up a bunch of women like, hey, 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 hey. These guys are looking for some bitches, 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 bitches. Like, at what point is that trafficking? At what point does that become trafficking? Does it become trafficking when they pick the girls up and bring them to these men's house? When they set them up in these environments with drugs and alcohol? When does it become X work? It's extremely, extremely disturbing how they talk about this so callously. And I do think he was trying to throw somebody under the bus with him when he said that.
He made a video about the weird case that Ak has been named on, where a woman alleges that he and 2 other men assaulted her after she had been flown out to his home.
I look crazy right now, but I'm not going to stand here and let this man continue to lie about me. For you to pretend that you didn't do anything, that I just went to your house and I'm just some thought, like we didn't know each other for 2 years. You tried to save yourself after your friends assaulted me. Whether or not you got drunk or not, I know that when you woke up, you were on top of me too. You me too, and a test it was done.
Academics is an innocent man who has not ever been charged with anything of the sort that has to do with any deviancy or anything like that.
Well, now Academics has once again put himself in a very sticky situation. Basically, there was this 15-year-old kid named Noir who was a super fan and moderator of a pretty popular streamer named Blackboy Max. Using these credentials as a moderator, this kid Noir gets into a Discord call with Tory Lane's manager and DJ Academics, where they start playing Fortnite. Noir was streaming during the game, and this is where the call started getting weird after someone said that they were going to send strippers to Noir's house so that he can lose his V card.
Yo, Noir, what's your address? I'm gonna send some strippers over there.
Slow down, yo. I am 15. I hope you know that, bro. You trying to
Oh,
get?
you scared of women, bro.
I'm not
Scared of
scared of
women.
women. Yo, bro, you trying to put me on a case? You trying to put them on a case?
So?
What you mean? So that's weird.
You know all the rappers lost their virginity to like old women, right?
Now, this kid has more sense in this situation than the dumbass adults. I don't know what type of girl.
And he's right? This is, I don't care if you're joking. Like, I don't think anybody random should just initiate this type of like male talk type conversation with any old young man. Excuse me. I don't think it's appropriate. I don't know what boundaries men have up, but I don't think you should just be cool with any old dude talking to your son like, oh yeah, you gonna get bitches, you gonna fuck hoes. Like, no. Don't talk to my son about anything. Save that for his own parent. A lot of these dudes are misguided and messed up in the head, and the stuff that they be saying be based off of their weird understandings and perspective. So the fact that they felt so comfortable, like, oh, let me tell this 15-year-old how he should feel about women and whatever, is weird. Let's continue.
Grown man finds humor in talking to someone they barely know who is also underage like this, and I find it pretty disgusting that after the kid said he's only 15 and not interested, he continues to peer pressure him by saying that all the people that he looks up to lost their virginity at a young age. Then DJ Academics comes in saying some even weirder shit.
So you told me that there's not another 15-year-old that you could bust down? I'm serious.
Now, this kid is clearly uncomfortable and trying to laugh it off. You have to remember that these are all adults that he looks up to, and he is probably awestruck to even be in the call in the first place. Sadly, he is the only one who knows how to conduct himself as the weirdo conversation continues and is driven by Academics for several minutes.
If you could do one of them sex changes and you could become a girl
No.
and get pregnant,
That's where he drew the line. He said no.
Would you let Max get you pregnant?
No. That would be
If he
gay.
actually,
And
No, if Max said he wanted to try fucking a dude, would you let him fuck you?
no.
Why not?
Now, you see how so weird that shit is? Like, I don't know. We're going to hear that again. You guys tell me if that sounds weird to you.
In the call in the first place. Sadly, he is the only one who knows how to conduct himself as the weirdo conversation continues and is driven by Academics for several minutes.
if you could do one of them sex changes and you could become a girl
No.
and get pregnant,
That's where he drew the line. He said no.
Would you let Max get you pregnant?
No. That would be
If he
gay.
actually,
And
If Max said he wanted to try fucking a dude, would you let him fuck you?
no.
Why not?
Yeah, why not?
Yeah. You can have. Wait.
If I can't fuck you, I'm cutting you off.
No, yo. Suppose he's like, yo, bro. Listen, yo, you always wanted me to be next to you. Now I could be inside of you. Pause.
I don't. When did this type of conversation become normalized? Like, there's some things that just come across so weird to me these days. Like, I don't remember. Were the OGs always like this? Somebody let me know in the chat. Were the OGs always like creepy like this?
Now, I've never really understood the whole straight guy trolling by acting gay or saying gay things bit, especially towards people they've barely met or barely know. Like, I remember this dude on the baseball team back in the day would be in the locker room trying to shove the handle of his bat up the freshmen's butts and then call it hazing. Like, no, dude, you're just gay. Why are you going home and sniffing the bats, buddy? Now, above me thinking that this behavior is weird in general, when you throw in the fact that these are grown men closing in on 40 years old talking to a kid like this, that's when it's really a fucked up situation.
I suppose he dropped some milk flavored juice. You drink it?
Yeah, his milk would probably be the better.
No flavored juice. What are we talking about with your little ass? Nigga still drinking titty milk, nigga?
Like, why would these thoughts even begin to cross your mind as a grown man talking to a kid?
Oh, yo, you ever dream about Max before?
I have, yes. Not in a weird way.
Yo, what the fuck?
I dreamt of us coming to Malaysian meeting. I dreamt of.
Oh, yeah, on a vacation. Holy.
And knowing that he is a fan of this streamer and gets to actually help him stream, and you use that information to peddle your agenda, like, that shit is not a joke. It's your unconscious, nasty thoughts finally leaking out. I mean, just look how Max himself talked about this situation on stream.
But at the end of the day, if you are coming on stream and you are saying weird shit to a kid I basically view as my little brother, you feel me? Noor, he's a Palestinian refugee. For anyone that doesn't understand, he's a Palestinian refugee. He lives in Malaysia. He doesn't speak Malay. He lost his mother. I've known him for like 2 years now. He's gone through a lot. He basically can't make friends in real life because he don't speak the language native to that country. And so he'd be on Discord all the time. And he'd be in Twitch chats. He just needs people to talk to, friends.
And then that man Dante would actually interview the kid Noir about the situation, and he says that he had been in this Discord for around a week, which he claims was operated by Tory Lane's manager Ray. He gets on and asks them if he can join in on their Fortnite game, and they say sure.
They were playing Fortnite. I asked if I could join. They said okay. I told them I'm live. They said okay, that's fine. Blah 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 blah.
They knew you were live and was still talking like that.
Yeah.
Jesus.
So imagine what happens when nobody's live.
Exactly.
And this guy would go on to beg the kid to delete any evidence of the stream after the situation went viral, promising him future streaming collabs if he agreed to do this.
And you can have more streams with us in the future, I promise. I do not want that.
Yeah, no.
Which in itself is obviously pretty manipulative. And in the end, Noir did oblige, but as you all know, the internet is forever, so they couldn't just cover this up. And of course, in response to this, Academics puffs out his chest and basically threatens anyone who spreads the clip of him being an OVO Diddy god.
We live in a clip culture who gonna try to take things out of context. And also we got the K-bots and all these other people who have an agenda to try to make people look weird. I just want to put that on record because after this, I'm gonna get disrespectful. Like, I swear to God, and I never swear to God, I never need to be on Kai, Max, Aiden, nobody stream. I don't need none of nobody who stream. I got my own thing going on. The fuck? So when I see this shit piss me off. I'm like,
leave it to this guy to act like everyone else is in the wrong after he was caught in 4K saying.
And right, to be having a narc meltdown like that, knowing you're wrong as hell, like, that wasn't cool. It wasn't cool for you to be talking to that kid like that. That was weird as hell. If that was my nephew or son, something that I heard you were talking to, you would be catching these hands. I'd be like, what's wrong with you? Like, I would want to swing at you. There's something weird about that. You know? So I think it's funny that he's going to come in here and have this, like, psychotic little meltdown where he's acting like he's a victim. No, dude, you're a freaking creep. You're a freaking creep, and talking to a 15-year-old like this is weird. The fact that you're comfortable blatantly doing it is questionable. I'm wondering what else you're comfortable doing. He is a predator, but he's mad. Exactly. I mean, having like a little narc meltdown. Like, I just wanted to smack him up in his head, Jesse. Like, what in the heck's going on here? Let's continue, though.
Saying creepy shit well after he was informed that this kid was only 15 years old. Like, what was he even trying to get out of this conversation? Either he was trying to actually be on some weird shit, or he was just trying to embarrass the kid. But there was no other conclusion to be drawn. There was no context that would make this even remotely okay. And after trying to play the tough guy, Academics would come to his senses a bit and admit that he did fuck up.
Yeah, I gotta step up to the plate and be like, nah, I'm gonna be better. I'm gonna be better. I'm gonna be better. My bad. Definitely my bad.
Now, after a couple of days, the situation would reach a breaking point, as Academics would be banned on Twitch permanently, and it's been rumored that he had lost several sponsors, something that he denies.
As far as anyone saying that, like it's a hailstorm of fallout, that's not true. Happy that is still right.
I mean, I'm happy at least one platform is willing to say, like, you're a creep and you don't belong here. Sorry, guys. I'm happy to see that at least one platform says that. I think at the end of the day, the fact that he was so comfortable having a conversation like this with a minor, is something about him questionable. It's something that we should be paying attention to, keeping an eye on in the future, right? Kind of like the Diddy situation, how all that came into fruition. There was plenty of questionable stuff in his history that got ignored, Interested Lady says that would be a creepy conversation if it was just him talking. If it was just talking to his friends in their 40s. Exactly. It would be a creepy conversation for grown folk to have. Now, much less to be having with a 15-year-old. He made some weird homosexual comments asking about, like, it was just all so weird. Stuff that you shouldn't be talking to with a child about. Diddy looks like a Somalian, y'all should have knew something was wrong with that boy a long time ago. Okay.
I hear you. Stake supports us on Twitter, supports our news Twitter account, which is the Academics TV account. They've done it before and they continue to do it.
And I actually do believe him, because it's hard for me to see an alcoholic or gambling company dropping him over this type of situation. I just feel like at the end of the day, it's so easy to not be a weird person, and it's even easier to never interact with someone underage or in an inappropriate way, both online and in person. And for a lot of these idiots, downloading Discord is literally their downfall, because for some reason, many people see it as a safe haven community where anything goes and everything stays private, when in reality, we've seen so many people lose their career and damage their reputation over some Discord foolishness. I also think that Academics is someone who lives in an echo chamber of the community that he created, and he likes to do this thing where he writes off anyone who has...
I think it's funny that anybody would believe that a social media platform, especially one like Discord where you can connect with just about anybody, would be a safe and private place. It's definitely not. All right, so I'm going to end on Academics there for a minute. So I'm just going to close that out. And we're going to go into Diddy. Now, I'm just going to do a quick intro on Diddy because we're coming up on 2 hours and I am very, very, very exhausted. But I wanted to start Diddy because Diddy is we can only get into so much of Diddy. Diddy is he's a maze. There's so much to him. There's a bunch of other people who are victims of Diddy, and how they came to be victims of Diddy is there's a disturbing pattern. But we're going to start off with the infamous case that set this all on fire, and that was Cassie Ventura. Okay, this video came out, and other evidence came out in which she states that P. Diddy handled her very aggressively, and there was video evidence for the first time. So let's review this video here and how that relates to the lawsuit.
Hey Cassie, how are you? How do you feel about all the allegations with Diddy going on right now?
This is the first video, the first photo of Diddy's ex-girlfriend, Cassie Ventura, since his arrest for the shocking allegations inside this 14-page indictment.
Do you feel justice is being served right now?
She wasn't answering questions in New York City last night after Sean Combs was denied bond for a second day in a row. Photographers did catch her with a smile on her face and a cap covering her eyes, out with a friend.
Have a good night.
They were just 6 miles from where Diddy was locked up after the judge slammed him, saying the defendant is a danger. And now prosecutors are revealing new and disturbing details from the day that Diddy was seen beating his then girlfriend Cassie in an LA hotel.
Combs can be seen grabbing Ventura and throwing her to the ground.
They claim Combs had been holding a freak off in his hotel room with the commercial sex worker and that Cassie had been trying to escape.
My behavior on that video.
And you can see his mannerisms, sort of how he's carrying himself right in that video where he's even sitting. Sorry, I didn't want to go back this far, but it kind of cuts the video up. You know, he goes and pursues her, but when he's sitting, at one point he's sitting there, and then you see him toss like a piece of furniture. So they were arguing, yelling maybe back and forth, and he's just throwing stuff at her. Jesse says, last night I watched the first episodes of Diddy, The Making of Bad Boy on Peacock. Oh, yeah. Yep, there's a lot of the new shows that are coming. I think Hulu has one too. But let's watch that clip over again just for some context. Hopefully I don't get pinned in the bum for playing this. If you guys could do me a favor, hit the like button, share, subscribe, all of that. I'll appreciate it.
And now prosecutors are revealing new and disturbing details from the day that Diddy was seen beating his then girlfriend Cassie in an LA hotel.
Combs can be seen grabbing Ventura and throwing her to the ground.
They claim Combs had been holding a freak off in his hotel room with the commercial sex worker and that Cassie had been trying to escape.
My behavior on that video is inexcusable. I was disgusted then when I did it. I'm disgusted now.
Diddy apologized only after CNN broadcast the shocking confrontation worldwide. But prosecutors claimed in court Diddy texted Cassie in the days after the assault. The cops are here. I got 6 kids. You gonna abandon me all alone? She replied, you are sick for thinking it's okay to do what you've done. I still have crazy bruising. Elizabeth Wagmeister, who broke the story of the video, spoke with Billy.
Like with Heidi Fleiss back in the day, like with Jeffrey Epstein, there's a list. There's a black book. You get that sense that there's some people in Hollywood who are, quaking in their boots right now?
I mean, look, Diddy is one of the biggest names in music, all-time history in the music industry. He's infamous for his parties, Billy. You and I know that. We cover the entertainment industry. His white parties in the Hamptons, which means that nearly every celebrity in the world has been to his homes or has been to his events.
Stop by. It's an invitation to all of America.
No,
I'm only
the internet.
joking. No, I wouldn't do that if I was you.
Just because you've been to Diddy's home or been to his parties does not mean that you are complicit in criminal activity. Now, does it mean that we may see celebrities come up on video footage from his home or in photos? All that evidence you would imagine will be presented in court if and when there is a trial. It's that question of everyone knew, but what did they know? And,
that is true, right? Everyone can't be implicated just because they've been to P. Diddy's house, right? He has been a mogul, an international mogul for a long time. So many people could end up being implicated if that were the case. And I think that's why now they're saying, hey, everybody who's been there, privy to what he does there, they maybe have never even experienced it or seen it. Right, so you can't just across the board, every person who's associated with Diddy or has been to his house will be considered somebody who's engaging that type of behavior. But he certainly is. Hey, Ava Nicole. All right, let's watch a little bit more of this, and then we're gonna move on to the next Diddy video, who is Dawn Richard, who's suing him, and then we're gonna see you probably on Wednesday or Thursday. Right, because tomorrow or maybe later tonight we'll be doing some more fun type of content. All right, make sure you guys check out the show that'll be coming up next, and hit the like button on your way in and out.
Diddy, here's what I have pointed out, what I'll say. Not a single celebrity has come out to defend Diddy. Not one.
Combs has pleaded not guilty. And now we're learning more details about the raid that went down here at Diddy's 17,000 square foot, $61.5 million mansion. Prosecutors revealed they actually found 6 guns in his California and Florida mansions and alleged that Combs had repeatedly contacted victims and witnesses in the months leading up to his arrest on sex trafficking and racketeering charges.
Now, it's surprising because, he settled the case with Cassie, and I'm sure a lot of people thought, okay, this is over, it's going away. But that was just really the beginning for Diddy. All right, so now we're going to talk about Don Richard. Now, this is somebody who I grew up listening to, right? We watched Making the Band, we saw Day 26, and Danity Kane, Make It. We thought it was really going to be big time for them. We thought the music that they made was going to take them to the top. But things really didn't work out like that for them. All right, so she's going to give her account of what happened, as well as her whole interaction with Diddy. So let's get into that.
Need to get here. She did not want to hide. Why should she hide her head in shame? She has not done anything wrong.
Don Richard had once been on top of the world. She was a rising star and a member of the popular girl group Danity Kane, with hits like Showstopper and Damage. Reaching the top 10 of the Billboard charts in the early 2000s. Their mentor, none other than one of the most influential figures in American music, Sean Diddy Combs.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Y'all did a great job today, ladies.
Today, Richard is back in the spotlight. In a damning new lawsuit, she's accusing her former mentor of sexual battery, forced labor, and gender-motivated violence.
These are all allegations that have become shockingly familiar against Diddy in recent months, as he has faced lawsuit after lawsuit from women and men who have accused him of all manner of bad behavior.
Richard also claims she witnessed him abusing his former girlfriend, Cassandra Ventura, better known as Cassie, on numerous occasions. Attorney Lisa Bloom is representing Richard.
Dawn had the choice to file the case as a Jane Doe, and she chose not to do that. After giving it a fair amount of thought, she wants accountability. She wants justice.
An attorney for Combs tells Nightline, quote, in an attempt to rewrite history, Don Richard has now manufactured a series of false claims, all in the hopes of trying to get a payday. Adding, quote, it's unfortunate that Miss Richard has cast their 20-year friendship aside to try and get money from him. But Mr. Combs is confidently standing on truth and looks forward to proving that in court. Richard is just the latest person to come forward with disturbing allegations against the once celebrated hip-hop mogul.
Diddy has been under criminal investigation for months by federal prosecutors here in New York. And if there are criminal charges, many of them may look a lot like what some of these individuals have been describing.
With this newest lawsuit, this would probably only expedite or increase the amount of allegations and potential witnesses who could testify against Sean Combs.
Last November, a stunning lawsuit by Cassie claimed that she was the victim of a pattern of abuse, violence, and sex trafficking by Combs. At the time, Combs denied all wrongdoing and said that settling was not an admission of guilt. Then, this explosive video.
We're going to begin tonight with the alarming images now emerging of Sean Diddy Combs.
The new video obtained exclusively by CNN.
Diddy's flying through the hallway of this hotel.
And they keep bringing that particular part up, but everything with Cassie is what opened the door for people to see his true character, right? He had been able to hide behind his money, his reputation, his stamp in the industry, whatever. He had been able to ride off of that for a long time, not getting in trouble, having a lot of people believing that he actually was an honest stand-up person, right? He had all his children and things like that. But when it really came down to it, the way he was treating the people he was working with was insane. All right. So I'm going to fast forward a little bit through Cassie, because we saw that already. And we're going to go into exactly what happened with Danity Kane, Danity Kane's Don Richard.
Actions in that video.
Since Cassie's lawsuit, at least 8 others have followed. Combs has denied any wrongdoing. Don Richard first met Combs while filming the MTV reality show Making the Band.
But I just feel like Diddy's gonna pull something because that's just how he is.
Combs working on making Danity Kane the next big girl group.
Dawn, I need you to take the lead on that song.
I need you to take the lead and produce those vocals, get those vocals right.
But behind the scenes, according to Richard's lawsuit, the group was subjected to verbal abuse and deprived of basic needs such as adequate food and sleep. She claims they were sometimes forced to work up to 48 hours with no breaks. Richard also alleges that during the filming of Making the Band, she saw Kim Porter, Combs' ex-partner and mother of 3 of his children, leaving his recording studio in tears with visible facial injuries, including a lacerated lip.
It's at that point, according to the lawsuit, that Richard says that she knew that Sean Combs was capable of assault and some of the most heinous acts towards a woman.
So many people are trying to break into the music industry. No matter how they're treated on those shows, it's very hard for them to leave because this is their lucky break. This is their dream.
Richard went on to work with Combs in another group called Diddy Dirty Money.
Like Puff says, it feels good to work with a team. I'm better with a team.
According to her lawsuit, the harassment didn't stop. Richard says Combs groped her multiple times.
She claims that while in the dressing room, he would be there groping her buttocks under the auspice of, this is where I want her underwear to be showing. This is where I want her pants to be cut. This is where I want her top to be fitted.
It was around this time, the lawsuit says, that Richard was witness to multiple acts of violence against Combs' then-girlfriend, Cassie. In one incident, she alleges that in front of dinner guests, Combs forcefully punched Cassie in the stomach, causing her to double over in visible pain, crying.
Don Richard describes this one instance where Cassie's apparently making breakfast in the kitchen, and Diddy comes downstairs.
And you know, these types of people, these controlling types, they're always very blatant and obvious in front of people that they don't respect, who they think their reputation doesn't matter, and that they can get beyond, right? This is not to say that, you know, some powerful people haven't seen him do things, but I truly believe that he resorts to keeping this evil side of him with people who he thinks that can't affect him. You know, people who he thinks are low or below him. So women and people in the industry that he's trying to put on. There was a man in Day 26 that I believe said he had some issues with Diddy coming on to him and things like that. So, I mean, this is really just ridiculous. Let's continue.
She describes him as drug-addled, apparently high, and just starts yelling at Cassie. Diddy picks up the frying pan full of eggs and whatever and hurls it at her, causing Cassie to duck into a fetal position. And she said this is what made her, Don Richard, to be so afraid of him and what he was capable of.
There was also a financial toll. Richard claims she's owed upwards of $3 million for her work as an artist.
In the music industry, sexual harassment and sexual abuse of women is tolerated. A lot of very high-level people are complicit. Women suffer. Women are overly sexualized. They're discarded like trash after they complain. And a reckoning is long overdue. It takes a lot of people coming forward until somebody is believed against a very powerful person in the music industry.
A year ago this week.
And it's almost like even with all these people that were coming out against him, right? Cassie coming out still wasn't enough. They questioned her. The video is what spoke volumes. Outside of that, it could have still been up for debate for a lot of men, really. It could have still been like, well, do we really know what happened? But then we saw him in that video snatching her up, grabbing her by the hair and picking her up like an animal. You know, it's just when you see that level of depravity in a person, you start to really understand who they are, what their character means. And that's what he's really upset about, right? Is that people saw him for who he is. How did that footage get leaked? How long has that footage been available? But let's continue with this video. There's only a minute or so left.
Combs was being celebrated at the MTV Video Music Awards, receiving the Global Icon Award for his impact on the industry.
It don't matter what religion you are, but make sure you know there's a higher power of love.
Tonight, he's far from that VMA stage. Just this week, he put his $61 million LA mansion up for sale, The home had been raided by the feds earlier in the spring.
And his name is now sullied by allegations that he denies, that he insists he will fight, but he is also facing a criminal investigation. The biggest threat that he faces is the prospect of criminal charges. Diddy, who once seemed untouchable in the world of entertainment, could in theory put him into prison.
Richard hasn't let any of this stop her.
Yeah, so that's pretty much sort of some of the most out there stories we've heard so far. I mean, there's a lot more going on with Diddy. There's some men who have come forward again recently. There's just so much going on. I mean, to think that these people in the industry used to have a voice, they used to be in some ways worshipped by people in the community as like these leaders, and they were really just everyday dusty people, you know, nothing special about them. So I'm going to go ahead and slide out of here. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that one. That was a little different. It wasn't so much like true crime, but I think that because this is all like pending and fresh, you know, it was sort of filling. You said, why Dusty? You know, I think this subject matters. There's a lot to this. Now, we went over Trey Songz, DJ Academics, Diddy, but we didn't even go into all of the lawsuits that those three are all involved. All right, so I'm probably going to do a part 2 of this later this week. But if you guys would like to, please check out my channel as well. On your way out, hit the like button. There's some more different type of content I'm going to be trying to work on as well. Trying to keep the interests and the subject matter on the channel different. So if you guys are enjoying the content, make sure you guys are hitting the like button, sharing, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye-bye.